He's the favorite action character of many generations. Avid action movie lovers just can't get enough when it comes to John Rambo, and that's why Rambo Last Blood must not be last at all. The iconic Vietnam veteran can get back in action once more, and here's what we know about the possible sixth film for Sylvester Stallone's best character in his movie career.
John Rambo.
Let's start with a quick recap of what happened in the 2019's film. With $819 million gross so far, and living history from 1985, John Rambo's movie franchise is surely one of the most famous in cinematic history. The previous 5 movies managed to achieve these numbers with a budget of $198 million, but Rambo Last Blood was the lowest grossing in this list. Even though fans were excited and eagerly awaited the film premiere in 2019, almost everyone was disappointed by the story, the graphic violence, and above all, the movie was also accused of racism and xenophobia towards Mexico and Mexican people. That's what could happen when you have big expectations. The movie failed to achieve the set goals, and we can see that from the numbers. Last Blood had a budget of $50 million and didn't manage to even double that amount in grossing. Fans and film critics were delighted to see Stallone back in action, but every other detail was subject to criticism. The movie, however, was popular in one place, the unpopular Golden Raspberry Awards in 2020, where it gathered 8 nominations and won in 2 categories. Sad, but this is the only thing the movie can boast of.
I've lived in a world of death.
The story followed John Rambo's living in a peaceful and withdrawn life on his ranch, where he's training horses and he's taking care of his adopted family, Maria, and her granddaughter, Gabrielle. The events in his life left consequences, and Rambo is taking a lot of pills to fight his post-traumatic stress disorder. He spends most of his time sitting in a wooden chair in front of his ranch house, but his seeming retirement days will end when Gabrielle decides to go to Mexico to search for her long-lost father. Even though John teaches her not to do what she's planning, by telling her that it's dangerous to go alone and cross the border, Gabrielle decides not to listen, and she's kidnapped a few minutes later when she steps on Mexican land. Her captors are the infamous Martinez brothers Victor and Hugo, who deal with sex trafficking and have an army of thugs. Of course, Rambo will go to rescue the girl, but on his first attempt, he'll survive a total failure. The mafia members will brutally beat him and will leave him to die on the road. But John isn't finished, he can be. A journalist named Carmen will find him lying on the road and will save him. After he heals the wounds, back on his feet, Rambo is coming back for another clash with Martinez's gang. The real plot in the movie happens, well, hit that like button below the video to find out. No really, the real action happens on Rambo's ranch, where he has an underground tunnel system and a lot of traps. When the flock of Mexican bandits attacks the ranch, Rambo is prepared. Knives, spears, explosives, and arrows are only a part of what awaits Hugo and Victor's men, and you already know where all this leads to, so I won't spend any more time retelling the story. Even though the movie isn't a masterpiece at all and didn't meet the fans' expectations, it's always good to see Stallone in action. So besides the whole negative atmosphere around the film and all the negative comments, I suggest you watch it if you haven't by now. In the end, it'll be a shame to not do it if this is the last time we saw Stallone as Rambo in action. Why last time? Well, keep watching the video till the end to find out.
All he knows is this.
We can all agree that Last Blood isn't at all the best way to end the Rambo movie saga, but at this point, it's hard to say when a potential 6th movie could hit the theaters. The 2019's movie was planned from 2008 when the 4th movie named Rambo has its premiere. After 10 years of delays, the movie was finally announced in 2018 with Adrian Grunberg taking the directorial seat. Surprisingly, the principal photography for the movie was taken in the Balkans, more precisely in Bulgaria. That Rambo Last Blood won't be the last film in the franchise, the fact also speaks that just after the movie had its premiere, there were talks for another installment, but the financial and critical disappointment did its thing. So the idea is now on standby, but if you're wondering whether it'll be revived, then the answer is probably yes. There are some talks that the next film will be announced in 2023, but this is only speculation right now. We must take the fact that Stallone is in the 8th decade of his life, and he's currently working on 2 other projects, the 3rd movie of Guardians of the Galaxy and the 4th installment of The Expendables, so if he stays in the proper shape, we can expect that the Hollywood star will find a way to another Rambo movie.
Juanito Rambo.
And what can we expect from the cast crew in the next possible film? Well, since the last one brought too many unknown faces, now fans have a lot of doubts about the possibilities. But with a budget of only $50 million, that's all you can get. The previous films in the franchise brought many famous actors, and that's why the audience was surprised when they saw names like Sergio Perez and Oscar Janeda, Martinez brothers, or Yvette Monreal and Adriana Barraza, who played the kidnapped girl Gabrielle and her grandmother, Maria. Well, you may remember Oscar from the 2011's Pirates of the Caribbean movie, or Barraza from the same year's Thor film, but that's all. That's why the next movie, whenever it happens, must make a bigger effort to bring some bigger names to it. The information right now is that we can finally meet Rambo's brother. Previously, there was information that he could appear in the 2008's film as a local sheriff, and you should smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell below the video right now. No, really, according to the same information, we had to see the two brothers together in action in Last Blood, but none of this happened. I did a little research and found out that the fans are speculating about the name of Dave Bautista, who could take the role. Stallone and Bautista already worked together in Guardians of the Galaxy, and according to the fans, these two complement each other. And if the sixth film comes in the next couple of years, what can we expect from the plot?
You gotta be willing to take the pain.
Stallone, who's also not satisfied with the previous film, and who knows that the previous film wasn't the best way to end the Rambo saga, on one occasion said he wanted to do a prequel story for the character. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, the actor said that his idea is to make a prequel like a Ken Burns documentary on Vietnam. You drop the young Rambo there, and he's this outgoing guy, football captain, and then you see why he becomes Rambo, said the actor, and he also added that he has the right idea, which will explore Rambo's backstory. This kind of story will need to return to the character grounded roots. So if Rambo 6 ever happens, the only way to save the series is to follow in the footsteps of Rocky and stop focusing on Sylvester Stallone. The latest Stallone films, Creed and Creed 2, did the same thing. They focused on Adonis Creed instead of Rocky. We won't see Stallone in the third film, but he built a legacy for the future in this franchise. The same thing we can expect for the Rambo franchise. On the other hand, there's always a possibility that Rambo 6 could bring back First Blood's original ending plan. Morrell's novel ends with Rambo being killed by Troutman. He'll shoot him in the head, which can be quite right for Rambo 6 given the fact that Troutman is long dead by now. But it's probably time to say goodbye to Stallone's Rambo for good if there's ever another movie about him. Until further fresh information, thanks for watching and see you next time.